say 30 years ago, when we got the law passed that the dietary supplement industry was going to go to the business, not to the pharmaceutical industry, this gave people a lot of opportunity. But another big thing we need to realize is that we have to become the teachers. We have to teach. Why does this product work? Why is it beneficial to you? Why should you pay X amount of dollars for this product? So you become the teachers and the healthcare professionals, and in this system where we all talk to each other and you visit, this is how you can also teach people what is beneficial to their health. And of course, LifePharm makes a very good, consolidated, specialized group of formulas to help the various organ systems of the body. A lot of time and attention and research dollars have gone into that. So today I want to first start out with talking to you about our Omega Plus product. And this fish oil, we've all heard about it, we've seen it on television, because heart disease is still the major cause of death throughout the world. And the old heart gets clogged up with fat deposits, or the blood vessels and arteries do. So what happened, interestingly enough, I'm going to tell you quickly about the history, but we also want to remind both men and women, 64% of women who die from a heart attack do not have any symptoms. Their chest doesn't hurt, their arm doesn't hurt. They may not even know if they have high blood pressure or not. So we want to be proactive in keeping our heart and our circulation healthy. Men, it's still the leading cause of death among men at 15-16%. So we all want to pay attention to our heart health and our cardiovascular health. Now, what is interesting that you may or may not know is, why in the world did people get interested in fish oil? Why did people think that fish oil might be good for the heart health and the cardiovascular health? Well, in the 1970s, doctors began to, they had certain clinics in the northern areas of Alaska and Canada and Greenland. And of course, these Eskimos and Inuit Indians that lived in these cold areas of these parts of the world tended to not die of early heart attacks. Yes, they would go to the clinic once in a while at the village, and the doctors would take a look at them, and they kind of would live to be old. They would die of old age eventually, but they were not having the mortality that the Western people and other cultures were having. And this was because they were eating a diet high in fatty fish. They eat seals, they would eat whales in certain cultures, and a lot of the different species of fish were high in fat. Well, this was a good fat. And what we know in chemistry is that like dissolves like. A fat molecule dissolves another fat molecule. You may not realize it, but when you wash your dishes with soap, soap is actually a fat molecule. It's a little bit different than the grease, but a tail end of it is a fat. And how did the old traditional people make soap on the farm? They used lard, fat from the hog, and they put it with ashes. And that's how they made their soap. And so like molecules dissolve like molecules. So that's why the fatty, oily fish oil helps dissolve fat in the arteries. Another thing, of course, that we've learned by studying fish oil so much is that it has an effect on the brain. And the memory part of the brain is called the hippocampus. And they have done enough studies now with the interest in fish oil to realize that a lot of course, the brain and the nerves are also made of these good fats. And if you consume the two main fats in the fish oil, then it helps delay forgetfulness in older people. They're doing enough studies to realize this, and it helps the memory. Now, we have ways now to measure the amount of fat or omega fats, the fish oil fats, in the blood. You can take a little finger prick and put it on a card, and you can send it off to this company. This is actually the foremost scientist that studied omega fats for his whole career. And he opened up a company to test for the fats. And the point being is that if we don't get enough of these fish oils in our diet, if we're way down here on the scale, we're not getting the benefit. So we want to be aware that we need to take at least 2 to 5 capsules a day. So you want to tell your customers and be aware of that. Now, our omega is not like the omega that fish oil product that you might buy at the grocery store or the drugstore. It is a much better formula. You're getting several different things in this formula that also support your heart health. And one of those is vitamin K2. Now, K2 is actually, in the Western countries, we are low in it. We're deficient in it. And it's a real vitamin, by the way. So we're suffering from deficiency of this particular vitamin because there aren't so many sources of it. And we know that if we eat this vitamin K2, 2 things happen. The K2 is involved in helping pull the fat out of the arteries because calcium is also a part of that plaque. And it takes that calcium and helps redistribute it back to the bone. The only big source of vitamin K2, the highest source, happens to be what we know of as natto. And in certain cultures like Korea or Japan, I believe, they eat a soybean fermented product. We have added this very high potency fermented soybean extract into our Omega Plus formula so that you can get K2 and have the heart benefits. The other one that we've added is CoQ10. CoQ10 is a highly purified cofactor, and it's also important for the liver and for heart health because the heart pumps all the time. It needs a lot of energy. Exercising athletes also need CoQ10 for the muscles. So we're going to tell you a little bit. We have a surprise. Martha has a surprise.